I beat my meat twice today. And look, the reason why I'm starting off the video like that is so that you guys can understand I am no better than you. And that I am on this journey with you guys together. And that this is something that we're all going to overcome. But it first starts with admitting your faults, taking self-accountability for it, and being 100% honest with yourself. Because the truth is, I made a big mistake. I shouldn't have done it. And the reason why I did it was mainly because I was bored. The devil gets to us when you're bored. He gets to us when you're fragile, when you're weak. He gets to you when you're hungry, when you're starving. That's when he gets to you. He doesn't get to you when you're 100% good. But let me break everything down for you guys first. Let me break down my whole entire journey. So the first time I ever, first of all, right, let me just break this down. When I was in elementary school, nobody ever even knew about watching porn, beating your meat, doing any of that. And then I go to middle school. I go to this ghetto ass middle school. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone. I don't know if you guys relate to me on this, but it's like I didn't even know that was a thing. And then I go to middle school and everyone's like, oh, I'm about to beat my meat. I'm about to beat my meat. And everyone's just talking about it. Bro, even kids in class are like pulling out the videos. It's like, bro, we're like 11, 12 years old. And then these little kids I got introduced to it. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, that shit's nasty. Like, even as a little kid, I didn't even know what it was, but I understood it was bad. Like, I understood it wasn't good for you because I didn't do it. That first year of middle school, I never did it once. Never watched porn once. And then, boom, 7th grade. My environment, everyone's talking about it. That's all these kids will talk about. I'm telling you guys. I don't know if this is just in the US, but all these kids will talk about was sex, porn, masturbating, like all these things. And then, boom. Boom, the day before I turned 13, I fell into temptation and I did it for the first time. And then that was the root of me doing it constantly. It's like when you get introduced to something new, you just constantly do it 24/7, 24/7. But I was doing it like at least twice a day. And it led to me having so many confidence issues. It's like I was extremely socially awkward. I couldn't interact with females at all. You know what I mean? I couldn't interact with females at all because I was looking at this thing on a screen. And when you look at something on a screen, you're kind of telling your brain like, bro, this is like you're putting it in like it doesn't feel real. I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to say. Like, you're putting it in a different box. And that's not real life. What you're watching in those videos is not real life. So boom, I started doing it, bro. There were literally days I would stay up to like 4 a.m., 3 a.m., just beating my meat, 24/7, doing it constantly. I had no self-control and I couldn't control myself because I had no purpose at that time. I didn't know what was my purpose. So all I would do was distract myself 24/7. And I wasn't really building anything. They say when a man has no purpose, he distracts himself with pleasure. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was distracting myself with pleasure. I was 13 years old. Of course, I'm not gonna know what my purpose is at that age. And then boom, throughout high school, I still struggled with it massively. I would tell myself, oh, once doesn't matter. And then I would do it once. It would lead to a second time. It would lead to a third time. It would lead to a fourth time. And it would lead to a domino effect of me being ashamed of myself. And then keep doing. And then I still did it a couple hours later. And it's like, what do you think that's going to do to your confidence? That's going to absolutely shatter your confidence when you tell yourself you're never going to do something again, yet you keep doing it. And then you wonder why you don't trust yourself. You wonder why you have all these self-image issues, but it's because you're not a man of your word, and it's because you ask for forgiveness from God, but you keep doing it 24/7. And I'm telling you guys this because I've been in the same exact shoes, and I'm telling you guys this because that's something that I struggle. I mean, the thing is, I did it twice today. Am I gonna do it again? Absolutely not. Am I gonna fall back into temptation? Absolutely not. And the reason why is because I understand how that ruins lives. You know how many marriages have been ruined from watching porn? You know how many relationships have been ruined because of that? Because then the man isn't satisfied at all. Because it messes up your dopamine. Like, the human brain is not used to that level of dopamine. So of course, you're not going to even be able to find enjoyment from the simple things in life. Because the truth is, when you do that so often, you do it so much, your life satisfaction is going to get fucked. And I'm telling you guys this because I've been through it, and I couldn't find fulfillment in anything. And let me give you guys a breakdown of what happened today and why I fell into it, right? So boom, wake up at 5 a.m. like always. Get in my cold shower, off to a good start. Start editing my videos, I start working, doing good. We edited some fire videos. Boom. Start working on my presentation for my program, working on it. Super long presentation, coming along nicely. I was close to finishing it and I was getting bored. And then I was typing, right? And I'm typing some of my past struggles, and I was like, oh, I used to jerk off 2 to 3 times a day. And the moment I wrote down jerk off, I literally felt like the emotion in my brain get reminded of what it feels like to do it. And then boom, you just start craving it. I just started craving it, and then I'm like, fuck, what the fuck? Usually when I get that feeling, I just ignore it and keep working, but this time it overcame me. I haven't even fallen into temptation in like 2 months. Like, I literally haven't even like nutted in like 2 months. And the truth was, I was already like 7 hours deep into working. I'd been editing all day, working on my presentation, and I fell into it because I was bored. I fell into it because I've been working so much, and I was like, fuck. That's when the devil gets you. The devil gets you when you're weak. He gets you when you're bored, when your vision isn't on the right things. Because if my visions were on the right things, I wouldn't have done that. And that's the honest truth. And I'm not afraid to talk about my problems and talk about the things I'm going through, because the truth is, these things don't affect me, because I'm gonna keep winning in life in general. It doesn't matter what I've done in the past. I'm not gonna let that affect me. Because yes, am I I don't know if the right word is ashamed, but am I disappointed in myself for doing that? Absolutely. Of course I'm disappointed in myself, because I know my potential, and I know that is behind me. You know what I mean? I'm not that person anymore. So am I disappointed in myself? Yes, but at the same time, am I going to let that affect how I act in the future? Absolutely not. Am I going to keep winning and killing it in the future? Absolutely. I'm outside of the gym right now. I'm about to get an amazing workout. I'm about to keep killing it, because the thing is, I am not what I've done in the past, but I am what I do in the present and the future. So I'm just going to work on the present. Okay, yeah, I fell into temptation, and then that domino affected into me taking a nap. Now I woke up from the nap, and I absolutely felt like a fucking idiot. I literally felt gay, because I'm like, bro, I just beat my meat twice. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I did it twice in a row. And then I took a nap. That's like a 3-killer combo of me fucking up my life. Nobody, bro. The truth is, if you're trying to become your highest version of yourself, you cannot be doing that, bro. You cannot be doing that, because that is the bare minimum. Controlling whether or not you fucking beat your meat is the bare minimum. And I understand that, and I'm taking accountability, because the first step for growth is taking up accountability in yourself, knowing where you went wrong, and then adjusting in the future to not let that ever happen again. And I'm not going to let that ever happen again, because when I was in middle school and high school, the amount of social anxiety that gave me, the amount of low confidence that gave me, was the reason why I was losing. Bro, I was losing in high school. I was losing in middle school, because I had no confidence. I knew everybody. Every single school I went to, I knew everybody. But the friends that I had that were actual real friends were very little. Very little. Very little. And then as I got older, the amount of friends that I had just got lower and lower and lower. I remember sophomore year, I had so many friends. So many people that I knew, so many people I would hang out with. And then boom, every year it got lower and lower and lower and lower. Because your friends are a representation of you. If you fit in with everybody, you fit in with no one. If you fit in with everybody, you're probably average. That is the word that... The camera overheated, but the point I was trying to make is that what do average people do? They have no self-control, they do what they feel like doing, and they're idiots. So what do? They watch porn, they beat their mate, they do all these things because they can't control themselves. But here's the thing, you are not what you do on occasion, you are do what you do repeatedly, what you do consistently. My identity is being somebody who goes to the gym, being somebody who wakes up at 5 a.m., being somebody who do all these things because I do these things consistently, right? So that's who I am. I'm not gonna let one thing discourage me from continuing on my path and doing the right things. And I'm not afraid to admit that I'm not perfect. I'm not afraid to admit that here and there I might stumble on all these things, but here's the thing, I always get back up. I always keep going. Regardless of if I fail, if I stumble, if I might do something wrong, regardless of what happens, I have so much faith in God. Everyone that God uses in the Bible is imperfect. Everyone. If you look at King David, he had unwavering faith in the Lord, but he still made massive mistakes. And then his kids had to pay for his mistakes. But every single person in the Bible, other than Jesus Christ, had flaws, they had through struggles, they went through things that hindered their relationship with God. And the truth is, we're all human, we all go through it, but I'm not gonna let this one thing destroy me. I'm not gonna let it destroy me. And that's the honest truth. And it's because I'm not gonna allow my momentum to build up negatively. I cannot allow that to happen, because your momentum is either going up or it's either going down. It really can't be in the middle. And my momentum was going up until I beat my meat, and then I did it twice, and then I took a nap. That's my momentum going down, but I couldn't accept that. So what am I doing now? I'm documenting my journey right now. This is uncomfortable. I don't like talking about this, but I'm doing it because God called me to do it, and I understand that somebody else might be struggling with the same thing. And if I document my journey and I put this out, hopefully somebody else who's struggling with the same thing can be helped. Hopefully I can help somebody else by documenting my journey, what I've been through, and how I don't want to be average. Because the truth is, God does not call us to be average. Because serving Him and becoming better as a person is not average. That already separates you from everybody. This is the same world that crucified Jesus Christ. Why do you want to fit in with this world and do what everyone else does, bro? I don't understand. I see hate as a sign that I'm winning. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even gotten enough hate recently, and it makes me mad. It makes me mad that I'm not getting enough hate. I need to be getting more haters, because that's the number one sign you're on the right path. And when I started on this journey at first 4 months ago, I had so many haters, so many people that were doubting me, but I love that feeling. I love that feeling of having doubters, because now I have no choice but to prove them wrong. Now I have no choice but to work 50 times, 100 times harder, because there's people that are wishing on my downfall, people that are praying on my downfall, that I have to prove wrong. I have no other choice. And I have too much faith to let my potential go to waste. And one thing that I want to let you guys know is that, first of all, I'm not perfect. But at the same time, every single day, I'm striving to become better, and I'm striving for perfection. Am I ever going to reach perfection? No. But it still gives me something to chase on a daily basis. And the person that I'm going to be in a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm going to be a way better person because I'm willing to go through these sacrifices now. And the biggest blessing that I have is that God revealed His purpose for me already. I'm 19 years old. How blessed am I that I already understand what my purpose is. And my purpose is to transform other people's lives using the same exact principles that I used to transform my life using fitness. And now I'm just translating the same transformation I made onto other people. And that's why I need to post every single day. That's why I need to make these videos. That's why I need to document my embarrassing stories. That's why I need to document the fact that I just fucking beat my meat twice today, so that hopefully I can be, my voice can be heard by the right person, so that I can transform their life and they can transform their lives, and then they can transform other people's lives through their transformation. It's a domino effect of winners making winners, making winners, making winners. So if I don't show up for myself, I'm not gonna allow that domino effect to happen. So if I don't show up today and I don't document my journey today, imagine how many people I'm gonna be letting down. Imagine how many people aren't gonna be transforming their life just because I wanted to be lazy and I didn't want to document my embarrassing stories and I didn't want to be outside of my comfort zone. Because once you're outside of your comfort zone, that is when you lead to growth. That is when it leads to you becoming the person you've always wanted to be. That's when it leads to you changing, transforming other people's lives. That's when it leads to you becoming a better person. And that's what leads to you strengthening your relationship with the Lord. That's what leads to you elevating your life physically. And that's what leads to you elevating your life financially as well, when you're willing to be outside of your comfort zone. I chose my comfort zone today when I chose to beat my meat because I was bored. When in reality, my fault. When in reality, I had so many better at other things to do, and I knew that. I knew my potential was so much greater, and I was wasting it doing that. But I told myself, if I do it once, it doesn't matter. If I do it twice, it doesn't matter, because other people are way worse than me. In reality, why am I comparing myself to other people? When have I ever compared myself to other people? I never compare myself to other people. So why should I do it when it's convenient for me? I compare myself. The number one thing I avoid being is like average person. So why would I compare myself to an average person to make myself feel better? I need to compare myself to who I was yesterday. I need to compare myself. Who am I going to be in a year from now? How much faster am I going to become that person today? How much progress have I made since yesterday, the other day? That's what I compare myself to. I shouldn't be comparing myself to these average people who can't control themselves, that wake up at 10 a.m., that don't even work out, do the bare minimum. They can't even bench 225. And their girlfriend tells them what to do, and they have no self-respect for themselves, and they can't even control themselves from eating cake. And the truth is, giving a fuck about your health, giving a fuck about your relationship with God, giving a fuck about your finances, bro, nobody should be telling you to do this. This is the bare minimum. This is the bare minimum. The bare minimum is caring about your life, because the truth is, if your parents didn't give you a roof over your head, where would you be? Where would you be? And if you don't know the answer to that, there is work you have to do. You can't just be in your room beating your meat, because you know you have a bigger purpose, because other people depend on you. And if you don't transform your life, how are you going to transform other people's lives and make that domino effect and become somebody that's actually a leader that other people look up to? Because you want other people to look up to you, but you don't even look up to yourself, bro. You don't even look up to yourself because you haven't accomplished anything that's actually impressive. And I'm telling you this because I have been in the same shoes. Just 6 months ago, I was living a life knowing I was meant for more, but I wasn't doing shit with it. And I wondered why I let other people's opinions affect me. I cared about what other people thought. I was constantly chasing pleasure. I was trying to fill a void in my heart with all these pleasures, when in reality, none of that ever fucking filled it. None of that ever worked, ever. Because I wasn't growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. And I'm telling you guys this because I used to beat my meat up until 4 a.m. Up until 4 in the morning, I was the epitome of having no self-control. How do you think that made me feel about myself? Of course I had no confidence. Of course every single business I started failed because I had no self-control and I was addicted to stroking my shit, bro. I was addicted to it. I tried stocks. I put my life savings into the stock market. I gambled basically all of it. I couldn't tell you, I couldn't even say a single thing I learned from that. I wasted all of that bread because I had no self-control to learn. I had no self-control to be uncomfortable. And I wanted the outcome without being the person who deserved it. You want to be in shape, but you keep beating your meat. You keep sleeping in. You keep doing all these things. You can't even fucking wake up early. How the fuck are you going to lead a family? How the fuck are you going to be somebody that a woman can look up to and accept her as a leader, and you can provide for her and do everything for her that she needs? And on top of that, do everything for your mother and your parents that are always there for you. How are you going to be able to provide for other people? You can't even provide for yourself. You can't even put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And then you want to tell your kids. The truth is, if you're not living it out, your kids aren't going to listen to you. You can tell your kids, work hard, do all these things, eat healthy, be fat, be in shape, take care of your confidence. But if they don't see you doing it, why the fuck would they listen to you? You need to lead by example. The best leaders lead by example, and they understand what it feels like to be in your shoes. That's exactly what I do with all my clients, because I know where they've been, because I used to be me. I used to have man titties. Bro, when I had man titties, my body thought I was a girl. And you know what else happened when I had man titties? I would beat my meat 3 times a day. I had no self-control. I would follow my feelings. And of course, other people weren't going to respect me. Of course, nobody was going to take me seriously. You need to understand there's a bigger effect and a bigger picture on why we do things. It's not, bro. Nobody just wants to go to the gym for a six-pack. No one gives a fuck about a six-pack. You go to the gym because you understand that when you have a six-pack, it demands respect from others. And not only that, it demands respect from yourself. You elevate your own self-image. You prove to yourself that it's possible. You build the habits of delayed gratification. Work today and see the results 6 months in the future. You're not thinking about instant gratification the way porn is, because porn teaches you to think with instant gratification. If you feel like doing something, do it. If you feel like nutting. And if you do that with every single other area of your life, you wonder why you have no self-control. You beat your meat, you smoke weed, you do drugs, you have no self-control, you drink soda every single time you go to a restaurant. And then your parents are always constantly arguing with you and yelling with you. Of course they're going to argue and yell at you because they don't believe in you at all, because they see the life you're living and they see you beating your meat. Bro, my mom walked in on me beating my meat when I was 14 years old. She walked in on me. What the fuck was I going to do? She walked in on me. You know how fucking embarrassed I felt in the moment? I felt ashamed of myself. And it was because I'm supposed to. You're supposed to feel ashamed of yourself if you know you're not doing the right thing. Being ashamed of yourself is not a bad thing. When I beat my meat today, I was ashamed of myself. I will say it. I was ashamed of myself because I understood that was out of my character. That's not something I usually do. And I fell to temptation, and I fell into doing what my fucking feelings said. I fell into it, and I was ashamed of myself. But at the same time, I understand that the fact that I did that, and the fact that I'm going to overcome it, the fact that I'm going through these struggles, is the exact same reason why I need to document it, because somebody else might be going through a worse situation than me, and everything happens for a reason. So if I did do that, and I did do it, maybe the reason why it happened was so that I can make this video today and make a massive impact on someone else's life. And the truth is, I don't care about other people's opinion. The truth is, as a guy, everyone has beaten their meat, bro. Everyone has done it. Most people are just afraid of admitting it. I remember when I was little, you know, boys, my fucking camera keeps overheating. I'm about to head inside the gym. It's getting fucking late. But the point I'm trying to make is that when we were younger, a lot of people were afraid to admit their imperfections. Even now, as adults, a lot of people are afraid to admit where they're going wrong. But the thing is, I don't have any fears at all. I'm not afraid to admit that I fell into temptation. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm not perfect. But it all starts with taking self-accountability and admitting where you're going wrong, keeping yourself accountable before anything. And at the same time, I love posting content and I love doing these things because I'm helping people who are going through the same thing. And also, me posting it is keeping me accountable as well, because I have other people that are relying on me. And that's the way I think about things. So one thing I want to tell you guys is I love all of you. And the first step for you improving your life is get rid of the bad habits. The first one is beating your meat and watching porn, because that is the number one thing that is going to fuck up your life in every single way possible. And I'm telling you guys this as somebody who's been in those shoes, and I've seen how bad it affected my anxiety, how I felt, my confidence, every single thing that you need to become successful. It fucking killed it. It fucking killed it. It killed all of it. And on top of that, the most detrimental thing is it destroyed my relationship with the Lord. But yeah, if any of you guys related to anything that I said, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I love all of you. I want to see all of you guys win. Always remember that. If you have any questions or anything, or you want to share anything with me, go ahead and DM me on IG, or you can comment down below. But if any of you guys are looking to elevate your life physically and mentally to get into the best physical mental shape of your whole entire life, you could go ahead and book a call with me down below, and then I can break down to you guys exactly step by step how me and my team, we're gonna help you guys get there at Max Out Fitness Coaching. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking with many of you. I love all of you guys, and remember, let's get it.